Hi everyone. So today I'm going to talk about a very important vitamin which is needed from the time of maternal health till our old age, and a lot of you have been dealing with the deficiency of this particular vitamin. So yes, I'm talking about vitamin B12. Of late there are articles, there are studies about vitamin B12 as to how important it is, and so many people are facing B12 deficiency. So we're going to talk about what are the symptoms of B12 deficiency, what causes it, who all suffer from it, and how can we really work with it. So let's talk about the symptoms so that you know if you're dealing with B12 deficiency. Vitamin B12 deficiency can give rise to pernicious anemia, can give rise to bacterial growth, parasite growth, pins and needle sensation, weakness, fatigue, mouth ulcers, inflamed tongue, breathlessness, low energy level, hair fall, also forgetfulness. So these are the symptoms that one has when you are dealing with B12 deficiency. Now, if this B12 deficiency is not taken care of, and if it continues for a prolonged period of time, it could also manifest in the form of Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's. So it's imperative that we get our levels checked, or if we have these symptoms, we immediately work on our diet and try and fix this B12 issue. Now, what are the causes that people do become B12 deficient? One is that there is poor absorption. So while you may be eating a rich diet, but if the absorption is an issue, you would be low on vitamin B12. If you have a poor gut health, you will definitely be low on vitamin B12. If your diet is messed up, if you're on a restrictive diet, you will be low on vitamin B12. If you've undergone certain kind of stomach or bowel surgeries, you will be deficient on B12. So make sure that these things are taken care of. You're taking care of your gut health. You're taking you are including a lot of diverse food in your diet. Now there is in general, people say that only vegans get B12 deficiency, which is just a myth. So vegetarians, non-vegetarians equally are B12 deficient. Apart from that, there is certain other population who are B12 deficient. So one is B12. A study revealed that B12 deficiency is also genetics. About 10 to 12% deficiency is also genetics. Now, if the mother or the father is B12 deficient, the child has a probability of about 10 to 12% of being deficient in vitamin B12. Also, the intrauterine life is very important. When the fetus is in the womb and the mother is vitamin B12 deficient, the baby will be relatively B12 deficient, because during the pregnancy, placenta transports B12. So if the mother is deficient, the baby will definitely be relatively deficient. The next stage is breastfeeding. So again, if the mother is B12 deficient, the baby is going to be relatively B12 deficient. The third phase is the growing phase, the growth phase of the baby. When there is rapid growth happening, the B12 will be consumed rapidly, and thereby there could also be a deficiency of B12 if the child is not being fed properly with B12 rich foods. Now, with that, let's talk about sources. So it is generally believed that the non-vegetarian food sources are the only food sources for B12, but we do have vegetarian sources as well. First being dairy. So we have B12 in milk, in curd, in cheddar cheese. We have B12 in butter. And then there is B12 available in shiitake mushroom. That's a very rich source of B12. There is B12 available in nutritional yeast, fortified cereals. So these are the vegetarian sources. And then of course, the non-vegetarian sources like your, eggs and meat and poultry are also rich sources. The organ meat is the richest source of B12. But if you're vegetarian, the sources that I mentioned just now are also good options for you to add in your diet. Also, the fermented foods are very, very important. So your idli, dosa, pickles, kombucha, kefir, sauerkraut, these are the other things that you should definitely be looking at for your B12. With that, you should definitely make sure that you're checking your B12 levels twice a year. And if there is a deficiency, if there is a severe deficiency, and you may want to consider supplementing it under supervision. Supplementing is definitely not a bad idea, but living with B12 deficiency is an extremely bad idea. So make sure that you're adding these food items that we just discussed and checking your B12 levels. If you have any more questions regarding vitamin B12, the working, the benefits, or anything else, put them in the comment section and I will get back to you. You could also put it on my Facebook group. I would share the link in the comment section or in the description. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We'll talk again. Bye-bye.